Okay, we are live. Last call, probably save the best for last for wedding weekend. Are you ready to get nuts, John?
Always.
Okay. On today's episode of Playing Small is Canceled, we have a very exclusive treat. He is a true titan in a franchising world with over 55 years of experience under his belt. And as the CEO of Loyalty Brands Inc., he's founded not one, but three massively successful companies that have opened more than 10,000 franchises across the USA and Canada. Big facts. He's an author, entrepreneur, speaker, and visionary whose expertise in business strategy and franchise development is second to none. Please welcome the dynamic, innovative, and relentless, the brilliant and handsome John Hewitt. How you doing, John?
I'm incredible. Thank you, Craig.
My pleasure. So pumped for this right now. We're gonna have so much fun. I know we have a good mutual friend that connected us, and when he recommends someone, I don't really ask many questions because he's awesome. Um, for our community, for our audience, we're gonna repurpose this into the platform. If you weren't familiar with John, my best suggestion: do a deep dive, play catch up, grab his book, all the things. Before we dive in today, I have a little icebreaker. You ready for me?
Ready.
John, for you personally, what does it mean to live an authentic life?
Means to me, be authentic. You have to improve the world. You have to change the world around you and give all your blessings that you've received back. I've been incredibly blessed and changed tens of thousands of people's lives, and I'm required to give back for that. And I'm 75 years old. Most people my age are would be retired and relaxing, but I'm at the peak of my knowledge and my expertise, and I can mentor and guide. I've already guided over 5,000 entrepreneurs to be franchisees in my systems and change, as I said, tens of thousands of lives. There's nothing more rewarding than that. So it's to give back for all the blessings that I've received.
That's so beautiful. And first of all, 75 years young, you look younger than me. So you're doing something really right. And isn't it one of the most fulfilling things to take all the life lessons, the gifts, and to share them and to give them back?
I Denzel Washington, famous actor, I just saw on. I was trolling through Facebook last week, and I saw that he at a commencement speech he surprised me for a minute, and he said, the most selfish people on the planet are people that change lives and improve other people's lives. And I said, what? And he said, because they're so happy. There's nothing that it makes that is more gratifying. When I was a kid and I was in high school, I was poor, but I knew I was going to get wealthy somehow. I didn't know how. I knew I was going to get rich, and then I thought I'd just retire. But then I learned that the journey is the joy. The check at the end of the rainbow, the check is just an afterthought. It's the journey and the life-changing events that is makes your life.
You nailed it. And I couldn't agree more. Before I reinvented myself in the pandemic to what I'm doing now, I was on Wall Street for 13 years, and I wasn't so connected to that towards the end, which is why I knew I was here with something much more. I was able to make that shift. But when I speak to you, just the energy, the vibration, it's so obvious that you're so connected to your mission. And I saw a study recently that only 20% of Americans are actually finding purpose in the work that they do. How important is it for you, and has it always been this way, to be so connected to what you're doing?
Our mission statement is real simple. 4 words: having fun, improving lives. And we're very serious about having fun. Life is too short. I invented the phrase, I believe, thank God it's Monday. If you're living at 80%, you're right, 80% live a thank God it's Friday life. And
Crazy.
on Monday morning, if you're not looking forward to where you're going to the wrong place. Life's too short.
Beautifully said. Yeah. So many places we could take this conversation. I want to make the most of every second. One of the things that you talk about a lot is to help somebody begin to achieve their dream of business ownership and prosperity. And you love to help people with that. For someone listening right now that might just be being introduced to you, what is something that somebody can do, maybe that's tangible, to begin on the journey or their path to achieve their dream of business ownership and prosperity?
Well, my theory is really simple. Find something you love to do, work hard, persevere. And again, it's life's too short. Find out something you love. And then everything worthwhile requires hard work. And perseverance is the key to success in anything, in a relationship, in a marriage, in a business, in a sport. Perseverance is the key attribute because everyone is presented with difficulties and to overcome. Everyone is presented with challenges. I've never seen anyone escape. God doesn't let anyone escape. So the winners just get up and keep going. So be prepared for adversity. And remember the 10 most important 2-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. So when you step out in that journey, you're by yourself and you need to create your team. But at the end of the day, the buck stops there. The buck stops with you.
You nailed it. This is so good. 2 things that you said there that I want to unpack. First, can I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely.
Are you married?
I was married once.
Okay. All right. Because you mentioned the perseverance in relationships. I imagine you meant not just business, but also intimate relationships, all types of relationships.
Every relationship, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then the second thing you mentioned there was God. We could probably have a whole episode on just this, but how important for you is your spirituality?
With me, it's God, family, and business. And I don't believe there's any happiness on earth without God. And I know people seek happy. Everyone's seeking to be happy. And so many people don't embrace God in that. If you don't include God, you're not going to be happy.
Couldn't agree more. I actually think if somebody ties their validation or happiness to something other than God, it'll actually be taken away from them to show that they shouldn't settle. My opinion only. God should be number 1, and then everything else 2, 3, and 4.
Yep. God, family, business.
Yeah. I love it. So good. You're very dynamic. You do a lot of things. One of the things that you do a lot of, and I saw you posting about this, is acquiring companies. I know that you guys recently acquired a company called Salty Dog in the pet service industry. I think that's awesome. In fact, my puppy, as we speak, is going nuts right next to me. How important is it for you to feel really connected to the different companies that you're looking to acquire?
To me, it's I'm a mentor. I have 8 companies, so I can't spend a lot of time with any company. So I'm a mentor and a evaluator, and I set the example for all of my companies. So I'm not intimately involved, and I hire the right people, give them the right training, and give them the right support. But at the end of the day, I let people make mistakes as long as they're not business threatening mistakes. They're allowed to make mistakes because that's the way most people learn. Human beings learn by mistake.
It's so true. It would be nice to just learn from everything else, but sometimes we have to go through it and get those lessons.
Exactly. It's smart people learn from their mistakes. I don't know that many smart people, but they say wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So it's a very few that can do that.
Yeah. With all the stuff that you have going on, with all the hats that you wear, what are you personally most excited about right now, John?
That we have 3 different initiatives, and we have in each of our initiatives we have fast growth in accounting and tax. Our ATAX division is the leading national tax in growth, and we're in the top 10% of all franchisors in terms of adding new locations. We just started in roofing. We just started in our construction division. We started with CR3 Roofing 2 years ago, and they're in the top 10% of franchisors that are 2 years old or less. But the fastest thing growing is our pet division, everything pet. And we just had our 3rd year anniversary with Zoom and Grooming, our mobile grooming service. And last month we acquired, as you mentioned, Salty Dog, a storefront grooming business. So now we'll service all customers that want us to come to their homes or apartments, and customers that want to drop their pet off at our location.
Love it. You have a lot of purpose. You have a lot to be excited about. Very goal oriented. It's good.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that Zuma Grumman's in just 3 years old, is in the top 1% fastest growing of all 4,000 franchisors. We're in the top 25.
That's amazing. You love pets?
You know, I don't have any pets because I travel every week, 2 or 3 days a week, and I live alone. It wouldn't be fair to a pet. So I do not have any pets of my own. But every owner of a Zuma Grumman or Salty Dog franchise has pets.
Right. Okay. I want to encourage everybody that's not already to follow you and check out your content. It's awesome. Another thing I saw you talking about, which really resonated with me, was the Olympics and how I think we both love just even having it on in the background. But the reason why you love the Olympics is because of, again, a perseverance, a unity. But something else that you mentioned always struck a chord with me, and that is the undeniable human spirit. Why do you love that so much?
It's because everything, you know, in the United States, the service and the quality and the drive and just the commitment, it's been lowered every year since I can remember. And to see it rise on occasion, and to see the good old days where put America first. You know, John F. Kennedy said one of the greatest things that I've ever heard. He was a great speechwriter and speech maker, but he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." And in this country, if you're alive and healthy, you're in the top 1% of all the people in the world. You know, I have 6 children, and I can't even convince my own children of that. They're whining, and you know, I don't have this and I don't have that, and you know, they're spoiled rich kids. But I'm just so grateful every single day. I never have a bad day. I haven't had a bad day since 2nd grade, because bad things happen to me all the time. But at the start of every day and at the end of every day, I'm incredibly grateful for the gifts I've received.
That is the ultimate perspective, right? Doesn't that make all the difference, the way that you frame or your perspective into regards of what's happening? Like, 2 people can experience the same thing. One could be totally dejected, negative energy, victim consciousness. And then you might look at the same thing and give yourself a second, but maybe see opportunities or find gratitude in something about it.
Yeah, it's the old wives' tale, or the old phrase, right? Glasses half full or half empty. And it's, you know, Tom Watson Sr., founder of IBM, said, "Give me 100 great engineers, or give me 100 people with great attitude. I'll take the people with great attitude, because you can teach engineering. You can't teach attitude." And Craig, I've never been able to change someone's attitude. I've changed it for a week, a month, but they pop back right into their bad attitude. So it starts within. It starts with how you view the world yourself, and that and you view it differently as things happen to you. You take it differently and you approach it differently, and either successfully or negatively. The negative people spend so much time in negativity. If they just turned that into positivity, they'd be incredibly successful.
100%. True words never spoken. I could not agree more. One of the reasons why I wanted to connect with you, and I love the alignment here. So good. 2 final nuggets before we land the plane. One of the things that you're really big on is owning a franchise as potentially a better alternative than starting your own business. For someone that might be like, why is that? Why is that? Why do you feel that way?
Well, first, let me say that I just did a presentation on a webinar that's on my website. It took me an hour to answer that question, and I came up with 30 reasons.
30.
So it's for free on my website. You can just hit the link and listen to why you should be a franchise versus a mom and pop do-it-yourself. But the key thing, the big picture, is this: that to be successful in business, and remember, I've brought in 5,200 franchisees and seen thousands of successful business people, and I've seen 1,000 of them became millionaires, and 1,000 failed. And so I've seen the difference. And the secret is simply you need two things: you need people, and you need systems. And so when you go to start a business, you need to you need to acquire a great system like a franchise, or you need to build your own. Boy, that takes years and years. There's no there's no school in the United States that teaches people to be a CEO. So I say I became a CEO 42 years ago and learned from the school of hard knocks, right? That's lessons learned. People that are the most successful have made the most mistakes. So when you come into our franchise system, you cannot invent something that we haven't thought of, that we haven't experienced, that we haven't tried and either succeeded or failed. So if you come into a franchise thinking you're going to invent anything or be creative, you're fooling yourself, right? I've been, for example, in income tax, I've been doing it for 55 years. I'm the great grandfather of income tax. No one's going to come up with an idea that we haven't either tried or seen. And so your job is, I'm going to give you a recipe. Your job is to follow that recipe, and it's so much simpler than starting from scratch.
Yeah, beautifully said. So good. That's where we drop the mic with one final nugget for you. Um, we talk about the only constant, which is change. A lot of people are fearful of change, but you have a reframe. Of course you do. You talk about embracing change. Why is that so important for you? And maybe how can somebody begin to apply that mindset moving forward?
And all the people I've ever talked to, and I talked to the tens of thousands, everyone says they want to improve, but they don't even think about it probably. But to improve, you got to change, and people don't hate change; they hate the pain of change. And I know I'm fanatical competitor. I have to win. To win, I have to have the best system. To have the best system, it has to be improving, and you cannot improve without changing. So it's uncomfortable. Winning isn't easy. If it was easy, anyone would do it. And winners just, everyone gets knocked down. Everyone faces adversity, and everyone faces that need to change. If you want to be number one, if you want to be number one at whatever you do and number one at whatever you can be, then you have to improve. And again, to improve, you have to change.
That's unbelievable. I'm just taking a second to really digest that, and I really encourage the audience as well. If you want to be the best in the world at what you do, which you should, whatever it is for you, you have to embrace change, adversity, and in order to do that, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. And I know that you love to have uncomfortable conversations with people and really push them because that brings out the best in them, right?
Yeah, I'm brutally frank, and if you meet me, I'm going to, and certainly if you ask me advice, I'm gonna say things that will make you uncomfortable, because again, there is no improvement without being uncomfortable.
That nugget right there is the perfect nugget to land the plane on. If you want to improve, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Period. End of story.
Done.
Done. Before we hop, this was amazing, by the way. Before we hop off, two quick things. How can everyone in our community begin to support, hop aboard? How can they get involved? Where can they find you?
I'm at loyaltybrands.com, and links to my hundreds and hundreds of webinars, and free link to my book. You can get a free copy of I Compete, of how I built two companies worth $1.5 billion, two public companies. I'm the only person that's built two of the top 100 retail chains in the country. So you can read the story. It's free. Just hop on loyaltybrands.com.
I love it. And before we hop off, maybe a little bit fun, rapid fire, one or two word answers. Are you ready for me?
Go.
Your favorite movie, John?
Which casting is Sundance Kid?
Classic. Okay. Your last meal on Earth would be?
Wow. homemade tomato sandwich with Miracle Whip.
Sounds unbelievable. Okay. Your favorite guilty pleasure?
I enjoy bridge. I'm a life master bridge player.
Okay. Fair enough. I like that. Two more. Your favorite book, not including yours?
My non-fiction book would be The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker, or anything Dale Carnegie. And my fiction book is Exodus.
Good one. Okay. What was the nonfiction one?
Was Peter Drucker,
Peter Drucker.
Effective Executive, and anything Dale Carnegie ever wrote.
Yeah, Dale's amazing.
I agree with him 100%.
Love it. And final one, very deep stuff. Your favorite musician?
Wow. The Beatles.
Can't go wrong. This was awesome. Sean, so happy that we got to connect today. I could personally guarantee that your best is yet to come. Thank you so much for stopping by and dropping these priceless, juicy nuggets today.
And Craig, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, brother.
Exciting time.
John, hang up for 1 sec. That was amazing.